Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Hello, hello. It's Monday night, and I'm so glad to be with you tonight. I just had an awesome week last week. I was on a road trip up in outside of Salem, Oregon, working with Michelle Halverson. I got to tell you, that girl put me to work. We did 4 events in 2 days. You know, I'm going to talk kitchen table, living rooms, park. We had an event in the park, church. It was great because Dr. Joan Hunter was with me at the church event, and we had such a great time. It was such a great turnout. And Michelle is really reaping the rewards of those programs. But I got to tell you, she needs to do a master class on how to get seats in the seats, because she did an amazing job promoting, and now she's meticulously doing really good follow-up, and her orders are coming in. So I'm super proud of her. All right, so tonight, the ongoing conversation about the 90-day challenge. And somebody sent me a message the other day, and they said, okay, Terry, you know, I'm coming in late. I think I'm halfway in. When does it start? When does it end? And I kind of chuckled, and I said, the 90-day challenge starts the day you say yes. Okay. And remember, I don't have any parameters around the 90-day challenge. Okay. I'm just saying, get your name out there, get your reach outs out there, start having those conversations, and, you know, get a little uncomfortable. I guess that's the message. Get a little uncomfortable. So there's the 90-day challenge, and of course the back to school campaign. How many of you were excited to see that campaign? You get somebody on the Healthy Starts for Families, where the child gets it for free until they're 25, but they also get 15 free meals of complete. Remember this, that Dr. Sears over 20 years ago said that our complete is a brainy breakfast for children. Okay. Performance in the classroom and performance on the athletic field. Use that in your reach outs. Okay. So before we introduce Jane Reed tonight, I want to tell you that it's still time to get your tickets for Level Up. You know, this is the home office virtual event that's starting this weekend. And I do have a little cash incentive for those of you that are registered for Level Up. And I will announce it next week. So remember, it's $100 raffle. If you attend, your name goes into a raffle for $100. If you host an event in your home, your name will go in twice for that event. Okay, so lots going on. First things first, let's introduce Jane Reed. Jane, are you with us tonight?
Terry. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much.
Well, just let me just brag on you a little bit. Okay, so hey, Jane. All right, don't you look pretty? Okay, so Jane Reed said yes to Juice Plus back in 2016. And I've had the privilege of working with her down in Austin. We've had some fun times together, palling around in the Austin area. So she said yes back in 2016. And she's a mom, and I think you're an author now too, aren't you? Did you kind of divulge?
Almost. I'm close to publishing.
She's close to publishing, which is exciting. And you've become a health coach since I think last we spoke. So I'm super proud of her. But okay, so Jen, a lot of people on the call are new and they don't know you. So you're a senior sales coordinator with the company. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. And I want to know, all right, you got kind of excited last month, and I saw a lot of digits showing up. Okay, so you went out and got, I think, like 7 new AROs in the month of July, you know, when it was vacation time and everybody's kind of kicked back. So what inspired that? But first, everybody, here's Jane Reed. Jane, what do we need to know about you?
Wow. Thank you, Terry. Always so fun to be on these calls. It's been a quick minute. So I said yes to this amazing product because my son was struggling from a concussion. He was in post-concussive syndrome, and he was having memory recall issues, agility issues. We were doing all the therapy, and a chiropractor suggested Juice Plus. And I was like, well, what will that do? And she, chiropractor, said, literally everything. Give it a shot. What do you have to lose? And my son basically was on, it was like 12 meds at the time, one to help with this and one to help with that, and then one to help the nausea because of the meds. And it was a nightmare. So basically I said yes, only to the product, and it changed his life flat out. His hemoglobin A went up, his autoimmune symptoms started to diminish. And within 6 months, what had become almost chemotherapy, because we were losing internal organs, his gallbladder had shut down. And just when I say nightmare, it was insane. He would just lay in the fetal position screaming, and I'd have to run and give him a piece of bread, right? And then find the right med. It was horrible, but it changed all of it. He's a flourishing tattoo artist today in downtown Austin, Texas. Zero meds. None, not even his ADHD meds. Like, he has just full cycle changed his life. And so that caught my attention. So 4 months in to that miracle, literally my words, my opinion as mom, I started to tell everyone I knew about this. Enter getting promoted to VF, landing a pink unicorn team, getting SC and SSC all within 6 months. So it changed my life. And then I ended up divorced, and guess who paid my car payment? Juice Plus. And then eventually my mortgage. So forever grateful for the company that started with a product that changed my son's health for life. If you know anyone with a concussion of any kind, get them on Juice Plus. Okay. I know, Terry, that was part of your journey too. Bless your heart. It's not a joke. It's such a hard journey. Okay, so Dad went to heaven in May. And when he was diagnosed a couple years ago, I decided to make him and my daughter's senior year just a priority. Side story on that, he had stage 4 prostate cancer 6 years ago when my son had his miraculous out of the blue healing, and my dad's cancer did go away completely. So when he passed, it was from other natural causes, coronary heart failure, nothing to do with prostate cancer. Just another plug for Juice Plus, the little fruit and veggies in a capsule, just saying. Okay, so Dad went to heaven, and I just decided it's time to come back. It's time to reach out to friends as thank yous for the cards and the graduation. It was this blur, right? My daughter graduated, and I owed people calls, period. And with every conversation, there was something or another that they would mention, Joey's in sports now. And I'm like, well, how's his oxidative stress? You need to reduce that. You were on Juice Plus before. Would you consider it again? And they're like, well, yeah. And so it just was so organic. It was just human calling a friend. It's been a quick minute. How are you? How are the kids? Whatever. And it's so crazy. I actually entered another one yesterday. So I'm now 9 orders just from reaching out to people. And each one, not all of them had been on the product, but a lot of them had. So now I'm specifically targeting former customers, and they're saying yes. So it's going really, really well. And I think each and every one of you have a customer that slipped away here and there with life. And a friendly little phone call could get you through this 90-day challenge with ease and grace. So what else, Terry? That's my spiel, and that's where I'm at this point.
Wow, and first of all, heartfelt condolences.
Thanks.
And how wonderful that you can honor your dad, and that you took such good care of your dad in his last days. And that's so powerful. And I had forgotten how sick your son had been, and what a miraculous turnaround this was for him and his health. That was just so beautiful. So guys, this is what happens, Jane. I mean, you see it. I mean, that's the power of the powder that's in those capsules. And we can't forget that. And whether it's the dead of summer or what season we're in, people need these plant powders to live vibrant, vital lives and to help them in challenging situations. So thank you, Jane. I want to put somebody else on the hot seat. Steph Fletch, are you around? Can you turn your camera on? I know you and your team are really, really embracing the 90-day challenge. Can you tell me what's going on with you guys?
I was like, my camera is on. I'm here. Yes. So we formed a little bit of an accountability group with a bunch of us that were wanting to do the 90-day challenge to kind of just, be around each other, kind of send some messages daily. We send out examples of what we're texting out. And then we share our joys and things that are coming in. And so it's just, I've always believed accountability is a huge piece to success in whatever you're doing, whether it's spiritual accountability, physical accountability, whatever. And so even our businesses, and especially in our businesses, I feel like goals are super important. I feel like timelines are super important. I feel like a daily method of operation is important, and accountability is like a key. Because if you're floating out there by yourself, I'm going to guess, and this might be a wild guess, but you might be not growing as fast as you possibly could. So I do think accountability is important to your upline, to sidelines, to your downline. Just making sure that you're communicating with people and kind of staying on target. In fact, one of their assignments today, I put some action steps in there from Monday through Saturday. It was to get on this call, and I see several of them on the call. So whoop, whoop, go team.
You're such a great leader. And, you really just hit on something that I have said over and over again, in 29 years, is that isolation is the enemy of this business.
Yeah.
If you think that you can do this business by yourself without community, that doesn't work. Okay. Being in community with this is what makes all the difference. And so I want to go back to something that I did a coaching call with Steph just yesterday. And one of the things that I said, and there's some new people on the line, is that we're rehashing some basic training here, but the number one reason people say yes to Juice Plus, do you know what that is? The number one reason people say yes to Juice Plus is because you ask. It's that simple. It's because you ask. So, you're doing your reach out, you're sending your text messages, Jane, you're picking up the phone and you're talking to people. I thought of you because, I thought of you because, I thought of you because, would you be interested in learning more? And then eventually you have to say, are you ready to get started? Or how would you like to get started? But you have to ask the question. People get involved with Juice Plus the first time because you ask. They stay with the product because they've had an experience. And so the hard work is not in getting the new ARO or getting the customer. The hard work comes in making sure that they have that experience. Does that make sense? All right. So, okay, you guys know that there are dozens of conference calls throughout the week. How many of you are aware of that? Okay. I mean, your head could spin, right? So every once in a while, I find something that I think is very noteworthy. And so what I like to do is do a rebroadcast with it. And last week, our own Katherine Lee did a leadership call. She stepped in for Kurt Beavers, who's up in Alaska. And I think all of us could use a little inspiration, motivation. And this girl is excited about the 90-day challenge. So I wanted you to hear that, but I also wanted you to know that next week on the Monday night call, live and in the house, is Jennifer Saville. Oh, look at everybody's face. So look at this. You guys are like, oh. Okay. And that's thanks to Jerry Moran, who arranged that. So next Monday night, I want to see 60 of us on the line for Jennifer Saville live, but you're not going to be disappointed because you're going to feel like Katherine Lee is sitting right next to you with this message. So, okay, Kathy, if you want to run that and kick back, guys, take notes, get ready, and let's keep it going.
Hey everyone, welcome. So excited that you're here. We'll give everybody a minute to get on. Really excited to talk to you guys about this 90-day challenge. No matter where you are, please don't tune off. If you haven't been doing it, there's still amazing things for you to learn and consider today. I'm so privileged to step in for Kurt as he's out there making a life. Incredible trip he's taking to Alaska, getting some tower gardens out there to that kind of frozen food desert, but also having a trip of a lifetime. So honored. Love seeing you guys join us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, what are we talking about here with this whole concept of, what are we doing to build a fire? What are we doing to be consistent? What are we doing in these kind of non-negotiables? I call them the have-to, so you get to things in life, right? We have to talk to people so that we get a customer. We have to talk to people or invite them to take a look at our business so we see if it's interesting to them, so that then we get to possibly have a business partner in this. We will never know if we don't ask. And it all starts with conversations. There's a great quote by the woman that pioneered this thing called conversational intelligence. And I'm not quoting her word for word, but basically she says to get to the next level of greatness, you have to engage in relationships. And in order to engage in relationships, you have to have conversations. And the best conversations, this is my part, is when curiosity can be engaged, where you can say to people, I don't know if you ever thought about, I don't know if you knew I was thinking of you. There's this challenge, like telling the truth. Authenticity is a commodity. And if we will rev up in this 90-day challenge, and if you haven't started, like Kurt said, it's okay. You guys put in the chat, like, are you talking to somebody once a week, every day, 2 people a day? You haven't even started. It's okay to tell yourself the truth. But you know what? It's also okay to begin today, to take things to the next level, or can keep going in your consistency, because consistency is key. Try to say that 10 times fast. Consistency is key to success. And in our business, that's consistently caring about people and being curious about what's going on in their life, about would they be willing to engage. And I want to talk to you today about your responsibility in this. And really, I consider it a privilege. See, we're not in a position where we have to shove things down people's throats. We're in the position where we get to offer and extend a gift to people, the gift of a conversation, the gift to say, I was thinking about you, the gift to say, I thought about you. My business coach said, think of 5 people that you would love to work with. And why would you want to work with those people? Think for a minute. Yes, you're having these conversations about the product, but what if you had a few sprinkled in there about the business too? It could be both and, right? The whole mantra from Travis was, I found the right business and I think you should join me. My words to that are, I so enjoy what I'm doing. For you to take a look at it. I think we could have so much fun together, right? There's different ways you're going to share that invitation, but what is your privilege? Your privilege is the conversation, the connection, and the caring. And I just got done hosting the Belief Retreat at Pure Hope Ranch. We had the best time. And we talked about the 5 beliefs, right? Belief in the product, belief in the company, belief in our industry that we can sub-franchise and get other people to do what we do, right? Belief in you and belief in your team, meaning it's not all up to you. Some of the conversations you may have with somebody else or through somebody else. I've asked a few people in my life, who do you know who, right? Who do you know who is looking for solutions for better nutrition or their health? Who do you know who would like to make an extra $300 to $500 a month? Sometimes it's that team approach, meaning the person you're having a conversation with becomes a partner to brainstorm with you. All of those conversations bring possibilities. And our privilege is to know the difference between a goal and a vision. So I love this 90-day challenge because you are 100% in control of opening up a conversation a day for 90 days. If you haven't done it, please don't quit. And then you can build momentum, right? You can decide, you know what, from here on out, I'm going to do 1 a day. Or you can say, you know what, I'm going to do 2 a day and I'm going to catch up. Or maybe that's your personal place. And when we talk about belief in yourself at this Belief Retreat, one of the things that I realized was consistent action brings belief because it brings momentum. You get to say, you know what, I did that. But this is what I see often happen for people is they have a vision or a dream, but they set it as their personal goal. So in this 90-day challenge, we can have a personal goal. I want you guys to tell me, have you ever set a goal? You called it a goal, but it took someone else's decision for it to come to fruition. Meaning I have a goal to get 5 customers this month, right? Sounds like a great thing. But this is what I want to tell you. This is the Katherine Lee definition of the difference between having a dream or a vision, meaning an intention. This is what I want, but the goal should be something you're 100% in control of. That's the goals we want to set. So what are you 100%? Are you 100% in control that 5 people will say yes this month? No, we cannot control whether they say yes or no. But what are some things you guys put in the chat? Hope is there and she's going to be responding. And if you guys have questions that we can answer on Voxer, we'll do that later. But what are things that you can do that it makes it more likely that you're 100% in control of? What is something that you can do that you're 100% in control of that makes it more likely that you will get 5 customers this month or this week, right? It's reaching out and having the conversation. It's the invitation to an event. It's the asking for the sale. Now, some of you ask for the sale this way. Are you ready to get started? I can take your credit card right now, right? Others of you, and this is for me, this is my thing. I say, is there anything else you need from me before you're ready to get started on Juice Plus? Is there anything else you need from me before you're ready to get started? Because then they're telling me what it is that they're looking for. And I cannot tell you how often they'll say, well, I guess not. I guess I'm ready to get started. But if there's something that's stopping them, this is the revealing question. See, this is my part and my privilege in this responsibility piece of owning my own business is to invite, to ask the questions. I'm 100% in control of that. Now, the intention is that they will say yes, 100%. I go in with the vision, with the prayer, with the intention that they are going to say yes. But that's when it's a vision or intention, that means it's someone else's decision is needed for it to come to fruition. And what I see happen often is people say, oh, well, I didn't get that person to sign up. That was my goal. Well, no, that wasn't your responsibility. That's their responsibility to make a decision. Your responsibility is to open the conversation, to ask the questions, and to make the invitations, to get on the product or to look at the information or to go to the event and then to ask for the sale, to say, are you ready to get started? Or is there anything else you need from me before you're ready to get started? Or, right, I'm assuming you want to get started. I'd love your credit card number. I can get you started today. I know some of you that are bold enough and that's your personality, how you would say it. So the key is, what are your goals? Those, again, remember, you're 100% in control of it happening. You can call 10 people a day. Whether or not they answer is right. You still hold the intention and the vision and you pray that they will answer. But again, you don't beat yourself up if it didn't come to fruition because it was someone else's decision for that to happen. But this is what I want to guarantee you. If you will set the goals, the things you're 100% in control of, and this 90 days, this leveling up, this building the fire underneath, that is what this is based on, the part that you can do. And what's so cool is at the end of last month, right, the company gave us this pleasure motivator, right? They gave us this motivator where they said, every day we're going to do a $200 drawing and 5 people are going to win it for these last few days of the month. How many of you were motivated and were like, I'm going to make that phone call, right? Because the pleasure, the pull of pleasure, the promise of pleasure, or the potential of that was moving you. Well, that's what's so good. If we can tie those things to ourselves, the company did it for us. What if we did it for ourselves? That we set a goal and then we said, this is the way I'm going to reward myself at the end of the day. I'm going to do something that I love because I completed my goal. Whether people are not said yes, that's just a bonus, right? Because you don't know where they are in their stages of change. You don't know where they are in their educational exposures or their needs or their ability. And yes, we can improve our verbiage. That's what our trainings are about. But, we have learned, and many of you have learned, when people are ready, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person because they're ready. And you can't say the right thing to the wrong person if they're not ready. So your thing is just to say something, to give the invitation. And then, right, some of us revved up. It's like, oh, $200. I'm going to go ahead and close out that person. I'm going to follow up. I'm going to see if I can get in for the potential of that pleasure of winning that $200. Just the potential of the pleasure is a huge motivator. So what would that be for you? What if these conversations led to an extra $200 a month every month in your paycheck every month? Not just the potential of that, but the reality of that. And this is what I want to tell you. It is possible for you to raise your paycheck by $200 a month. It is easy to do that in our business. And it happens through these conversations, through putting lots of people into conversations, caring about them, connecting with them, and being bold and confident about what we have to offer. We do have the right business. We do, right? If we believe in the product, all you have to do is look at the research, and we know that. We've got the greatest company that cares about people and their hearts and having high quality products. It's a great industry because we have the ability, we don't have a cap on what we do. And if we will build belief in ourselves by taking on this challenge and start off with 5 days, I'm just going to 5 days in a row, have 5 conversations, and then build that 5, give yourself a pleasure reward at the end of it, right? Like, good job. I'm going to watch Netflix for an hour. I don't know what your pleasure motivator is, but give yourself a reward, not just the potential of the reward, but then that will build your paycheck. If you were motivated by that possibility of $200, what if you created it and it was there in your check month after month after month? What would you do with that extra $200 a month that you weren't expecting? What would you do? Well, we can begin to expect it because we're going to have the conversations that will get it for us. And what I love about that is we begin to believe even more in ourselves when we're consistent, when we follow through with something that we are 100% in control of. But what we tend to do is beat ourselves up if we set a goal and it takes someone else's decision for it to come to fruition. So I'm super proud of one of the young women that was at the Belief Retreat. She went home and she went to her dentist and she asked them if she could share the information, and she had full belief in the product. She was so excited when she came home because she knew that was her only responsibility. Well, the wife looked at it and said, we need enough fruits and vegetables. And that's okay. She did her part. Now, I coached her on some verbiage that she could say to get still a next step to say, that's awesome. Now, I'm not going to challenge the wife of the dentist that they eat enough. I'm not going to challenge that, but I can say that's awesome that you guys eat enough. I wonder if all of your staff and all of your patients do. What if we could do an in-service for those people that don't do as good a job as you guys do? And we'll make it fun, and who knows, maybe someone that doesn't eat as well as you do will want this. And then, of course, as they get more information on Juice Plus, very often people that said, I already eat well, realize they're not getting this much in, and they don't know for sure the quality and all the other things, right? The research and the concentration and all of that. But that's not our job to convince. It's to captivate with questions like, what about the rest of your staff and your patients? I don't know if you'll offer this to your patients. I don't know, but could I come in and do an in-service, right? That would be the next step that she's 100% in control of. And then she scheduled a watch party, right? What is her job there? It's the invitation, right? And she gathered with 3 other team members and they all invited. And they got 2 orders through her sister, and they got a next event, a salad in a jar party hosted by someone else, not in their house, which makes a difference. Do you think her belief in herself went up because she was willing to be courageous, to build consistency, to build that fire, and to set a micro goal for her team. Will you join me in this watch party? Absolutely. And now momentum is happening for all of them. So I just want to say we can be motivated out of pleasure or pain. We can give ourselves credit for what we're doing right, that we are having the conversations, and quit beating ourselves up for other people's decisions. We're not in control of that. But we can also look at having pain motivators. People change out of pleasure or pain. We grow out of the promise of pleasure. All of you know that said, you know what, I'm going to try to get customers because I want to be in that $200 a day drawing. So you know that pull of pleasure, but pain motivates too. Like, do you want to go 90 days and not engage at all in this? You know, what if you actually engaged? What is possible and what could be lost? I don't want you to focus for a long time on that, but regret is a heavy pain to a burden to carry. So don't carry regret, carry learning, carry courage. Say, I did it. I did it 2 days and then I didn't do a day. So then I did 2 in a day, right? You can constantly carry learning, and you can constantly carry courage to say, I'm going to have one courageous conversation a day. Just engage that few seconds of courage to make the ask, to say, will you come to this event? Will you take a look at this information? I've always wanted to work with you. I don't know if it's for you or not, but I feel like this is the right team. I feel like you would love it. And boy, I would love to work with you, because tell them all the reasons that you respect them, that you honor them, that you've watched them be good at these things, or that how much they love health. What's the worst thing that can happen? They feel good because you told them great things about themselves. That's an honor and a privilege. Remember, you're not in control of the outcome. They are. They make the decision, but you are fully, you have all the power to extend the conversation. And when we begin to do that, and then we send micro goals to our teams, like, I'm doing this, will you do it too? Will you have a conversation a day? Will you be courageous with me, and let's come back and talk about how it went? And there's no beating up for a no, because that's not the part we're in control of. When you do that, you're going to build momentum, and that momentum creates changes. And those changes for us will be in our paycheck, but it will also be the changes in other people's lives. So I'd love to close this with all of you putting one change that the Juice Plus product or income has made for you and your family. What has been the difference for you because of the product? And or you could do both if you want to. What has this income or being a part of this community meant to you because you said yes to the product, and you said yes to the business? So in the chat, put the stories. What has the product done for you? And what has the income, whether you're making $200 a month, $20 a month, $2,000 a month, or $20,000 a month, what has that income done for you? Because sometimes we have to remember what we've got to be generous with it, to share it with somebody else. So keep going out there, level up, build the fire, stay consistent, and reach those goals that you're 100% in control of. And we're here to cheerlead for you and to coach with you. I'm so honored. I can't wait to go back and read all of your comments. You guys have a great day.
Wow. Isn't she amazing? I knew you'd love it. I knew. Anybody have any takeaways that they want to share before we say goodnight?
Yeah, include your team. Just ask them, hey, I'm doing this. You want to do it with me? I mean, fantastic. Simple, but oh so good. I would love it if you would do this with me, because this gets me fired. I don't know, whatever, just including your team. That's a good way.
I think what she talked about, Amy, and I have forgotten because I talked about this a couple of years ago when I closed the conference, relationship marketing. I'd love to have you partner with me because, I know you have a heart for helping people. I've seen the work that you do in the community. I believe you'd find your home here with us. And so, people are needing to be validated. And when you can go in and back it up with what I call relationship marketing, validating that person, it's that heart-centered, that heart opens up. So that was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else have any takeaways from Katherine?
Gary, I'll share really quick. I just thought it was so encouraging and just a good reminder about how we cannot control how people respond. You know, I was just talking with you about that, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. We can't control how people respond, but we can control how we show up. And so you may have been participating in this challenge and feeling like it's been kind of quiet, but you're planting seeds that will come to harvest. It's just a matter of when. So anyway, that was really encouraging. Her verbiage of like, hey, I'm participating in this amazing 90 days of really focusing, and you were somebody that I thought of, you know. So I love that.
I know what I love about the challenge too, is she started the call with this, is that the more you're engaged, if you do this every single day, what you'll develop is conversational intelligence. Okay. That's so important. All right. All right, guys. Anybody else before we say, hey, Derek? I saw Derek's face there for a second. Hey,
Yeah,
you.
real quick.
What's that?
So two things. One, the answer is always going to be no if you don't open your mouth and say anything. And so a lot of people don't realize, you know, what's the worst thing that can happen? It's like me asking my manager for a raise. Worst thing they can tell me is no. Okay, well, I'll ask again 6 months down the road, you know. But, and then number two, recently I just had one of my athletes who had been talking to her mom about the product. And then all of a sudden, you know, I've been talking to her for about a year now about the product. And then all of a sudden there's this big promotion with the shakes. So what do? I just reach out and said, hey, you know, right now we got a promotion going on. You get a free box of shakes with the Children's Health Study. And she was like, yeah, sure. And I'm sitting here like, okay, well, here we go. So yeah.
See, and that's the power of just telling the truth. There's this great incentive going on. You can get 15 free meals complete. You know, how would you like to get started? Oh, and classic Katherine Lee. I'm going to send this to her. Where's Pamela Parker? We're going to put this in one of those great images. Is there anything else you need from me before you get started on Juice Plus? Oh. Golden nuggets. All right, guys, we're almost 10 minutes past our time. You know, I love and appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to do the 90-day challenge, you've not jumped in, come on along, and you're not going to regret it. If you're not part of an accountability group and you want to be a part of an accountability group, let me know. You can always start a new one. Okay, guys. All right. Stephanie Fletcher, amazing, great nuggets. Yes, Stephanie, thank you so much, everybody. Happy, and thank you, Jane Reed. I think sometimes we forget how powerful that powder is in those capsules. Thank you for reminding us. Okay. All right, guys.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you. Peace and blessings.